Okay. I don't know how well we can hear this. I'm going to go ahead and record this. Stop this. Just prepping. Okay, what I need to know that I don't. A few big things are, do I have to have my own server to add to the computing network with all of these grid computing projects? I'll provide some more links. There's a couple that I might be able to use. Anyway, the Opera Unite server, I don't know if it's actually a dedicated server to me or not. And then what I want to look into is the top layer, the user interface of grid computing is the applications, and there's different species of applications that deal with requesting information from a grid computational network. But it's not that much different than most other peer-to-peer sort of cloud distributed computing. So, I mean, just as we can operate as kind of a grid as long as we can provide access to certain computing power, actual hardware computing power resources, by using easy access sort of search its aggregators, that kind of thing. There's one that I've been using called Monitor. It's www or http //monitter.com, and you can actually add as many search terms as you want, and it gives you parallel columns that you can pause that stream pretty much real time, aggregate according to those search terms. The idea, I've made a video of this before. I don't know how well it was explained or who's seen it. It's a human operated or human monitored network adaptive humanitarian aid control system. It takes advantage of the benefits of AI for maintaining a system when there is no crest in activity, no urgency. But it can be monitored by people on a regular basis for when deliberate effort needs to be applied. Adjustment to the structure of the system or the nature of response. And the rest of the time it's still adapting to change. There's still somebody watching the house, the farm, the castle, whatever. There's change being made. I was talking some about distributed artificial intelligence. The opinion I have about the form it's going to take, as opposed to sort of special agent undercover sock puppets, really just this pernicious, essentially metastatic carnivore XXX. It appropriate the computational ability, the capacity of real people that don't recognize it as a sock puppet or recognize themselves as part of a contrived data mining network. They might just be a link, but they're appropriated by that artificial intelligence. So you can unwittingly become a part of the monster, the machine. That's totally theoretical, but I don't see why that. If we're going to be understanding the model as these autonomous agents distributed throughout the entirety of their formation being the artificial intelligence itself, and that's just the way it makes sense. That's the way that they've modeled, the way they've tested in practical settings the implications and the ways to approach artificial intelligence in a network. What they do, the earliest studies are still relevant, is they use real robots and try swarm tactics, swarm computing, swarm intelligence operations with them, and they just have to succeed in some very basic things. First of all, is formation. It's formation, and then it's maintenance of formation, regardless of the number of autonomous entities removed. So they maintain the same relation no matter if the number drops. They rearrange. And this serves a couple of important functions. One, it's sort of a neurogenesis for the system. If taking out resources or operants takes the AI out of commission, and it ceases to be an effective AI, certainly at least for the time that it's taken out. But not only does it lose the bit of information for the time it's not operating a system, it ceases to evolve with the system then. It's a huge setback, so it's naturally a huge advantage to be able to stay adapting to changes, gathering data and learning from it. So it allows it to do that, because as long as it's got enough to accomplish its second goal, which is collaborate and manipulate. So that's next. Now, with the robots in these early AI and even some of the modern experience with the robots in swarm intelligence, it's phrased spatially, and all of it's is phrased semantically and spatially. But to maintain formations, not going to be the same in a network environment. It's going to have it's going to be a matter of having congruent relations that are adapted to, the rules that it uses to approximate itself from another autonomous entity will change. But it would be an algorithm or something like that, some kind of process, some kind of integral. And you probably could run several. It'd just be a matter of testing for the most common outcome. Okay, I've gotten way too theoretical. I'm not really telling you what I need. I need, first of all, reference to anybody who has any experience with it. Anybody who's willing to look in it. You can just generally browse and learn as much as you can about grid computing. In Cibulo, if you don't mind, what you could look into is the apps that are used to connect people within the grids. There should be any number of places you can look for different apps. And what I haven't been able to find many, but there's not, I think there may be one I saw. There's no grid projects that are centered around performing humanitarian aid, centered around human rights projects. Almost all of them are scientific or medical, public health. Public health will be able to tie in with some too. But I haven't seen one for just sort of activism, human rights, or development. So looking into those, see if you can find these apps for any of these grids, and there's so many grid projects, so many. And I'll look some more into the servers. I'll send you some other apps and some search criteria, but first I'll get this video up so maybe you can start. Thank you so much.